The honourable member for Calgary East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I'm very pleased to be able to rise this afternoon to respond to the speech from the throne. I apologize that I've cut short the enthusiastic discussion brought forward by the Education Minister. But I am going to take this opportunity to speak to how my constituents in Calgary East can benefit from the initiatives outlined in the speech from the throne. So I do want to mention that my constituents are definitely concerned about their livelihoods during this economic downturn. They're concerned about finding work and sons and daughters who have lost jobs. They're concerned about the cost of living and if they'll be able to continue to afford mortgages, childcare, and transportation costs. So the speech from the throne shows that we are listening to these concerns. It outlines initiatives that will make a direct, positive impact on the lives of the constituents of Calgary East. So I want to take a moment today to just speak about how the direction outlined aligns with the goals and directions of the people in my constituency. So first off, I'm very excited about upcoming legislation regarding payday lenders. We have a particularly high concentration of these establishments in my riding. There are 11 just on 17th Avenue Southeast alone. Whoa. And they affect, sorry. Oh, it's double-sided. So the prevalence of payday lenders unfortunately distracts from the image of the area. International Avenue, as I have mentioned before in this House, is a wonderful, vibrant, and diverse commercial area in Calgary. It has amazing restaurants, corner stores, and ethnic markets. And there are also a wide variety of professional services: banks, financial advisors, lawyers, doctors, and dentists. However, payday lenders affect this vibrancy negatively. Their high interest rates contribute to a cycle of poverty. I've heard stories of individuals who have paid $2,400 worth of interest on a $600 loan. And this is unacceptable and can't continue to happen. So this type of predatory lending affects people who can least afford to pay these rates. It affects them disproportionately. $2,400 is a lot of money. That can be 2 months of rent or mortgage payments. So I am so pleased, as I know my constituents are, that this government is doing something about this. 17th Avenue BRZ has been fighting payday lenders for many years at City Council and at the provincial level. And so they're going to be very excited to hear that some work is being done in this area. Sunrise Community Link and Momentum are organizations that work with low-income individuals and have programs that match savings of folks enrolled. So they allow people to save for down payments on homes, or for RESPs for their children, or for university tuition for young people. And they do financial education to make sure that people are aware of the options that they have. And these organizations are helping to break the cycle of poverty that some people fall into. So secondly, I am very excited also about the implementation of the Alberta Child Benefit Plan, because that is going to help a lot of families in Calgary East. There are unfortunately a disproportionately high number of children who live in poverty in my riding. Families are working hard to make sure that their children have all of the opportunities to succeed that they themselves might not have had. However, there are continued barriers to the success of these children. Lack of access to quality childcare is one of these things, and I was excited to hear from the Minister for the Status of Women this morning that that's something that ministry is going to be working on. And poverty itself is another one of those things, because it's hard to concentrate in school if you're hungry. Research shows that low-income children are more likely to enter kindergarten unprepared for school. They often have vocabularies a third the size of peers from wealthier homes. As a teacher, like many others in this House, I absolutely believe in the power of education to create equal opportunities for all children, and that all children can succeed in school. And that was why I was so excited to hear our Education Minister just now speak of how this government has priorities for education. So I'm very excited that we have the vision during this economic downturn to actively, double-sided again. I'm bad at this. Where am I at? Education. But what I was really speaking to is I was speaking to the fact that the Alberta Child Tax Benefit is going to help those low-income people. It's going to help them plan for the future. It can put up to $3,000 directly into the pocket of a single parent with 2 children, and that's going to help people in my riding. I have a lot of single parents in my riding. I have a lot of low-income families in my riding who are going to be able to benefit directly from that, and it's going to help them to provide a better education and a better future for their children. The third thing that I was really excited about was the continued commitment to capital spending, and this is going to have a direct impact on my riding too. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Minister of Transportation, who is unfortunately not in the room, for $65 million worth of green trip funding that's been allocated for the redesign and the addition of a bus rapid transit line to 17th Avenue Southeast. This has been a project that's been in the works for at least a decade, and it's going to help to make our neighborhoods in East Calgary more walkable, more cycle-friendly, and it's going to provide new opportunities for development and more reliable transit. This commitment to capital investment will also help the many tradespeople in my riding who have been laid off due to the downturn in oil. Capital construction projects will help to put many of these people back to work and give them the means to continue to support their families. I have a deep respect for these Albertans who work actively to build things, to create the homes, schools, roads, and bridges that we all rely on for our daily livelihoods. And I'm excited that we have the vision during this economic downturn to actively build things for the future instead of tearing things down and leaving an infrastructure deficit for our children. So lastly, the constituents of Calgary East will be impressed with the creation of an Energy Efficiency Alberta and an energy efficiency strategy. I've heard from many constituents, homeowners, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and they're committed to improving their carbon footprint. Having help from government will mean a lot to them. They'll be able to, there's also folks in my riding who will be more than happy to help government with their efforts on this front. I've talked to entrepreneurial young engineers who are starting their own residential solar business. I've talked to energy efficient window companies, and I've spoken with large businesses who are already working to excel carbon reduction. I was recently very excited to tour Executive Mat, which is a business in my riding that rents matting for businesses, cleans mechanical and printing cloths, and also helps to provide businesses with paper towels and food and beverage containers. But the difference with this company is that they have almost zero carbon footprint. So they take back all of the coffee cups and paper towels that they lend out to companies, and they turn them into biofuel, and then they use that biofuel to run their boilers, and then they turn the carbon that comes out of those boilers into carbonic acid that they use to neutralize some of the water that they use to wash things. And that's just a little bit of what they do. That doesn't do nearly justice to the work that they're doing. But they will be very excited to hear that the government wants to work on energy efficiency, because that's something that they're really keen on and that they are doing amazing work in. So, Mr. Speaker, I continue to be inspired daily by the residents of Calgary East, by their resourcefulness, entrepreneurial spirit, and commitment to being engaged in their communities and with their government. Not everybody I talk to agrees with me, but they are unfailingly polite, respectful, and committed to making Calgary East and Alberta better places to live. The speech from the throne speaks to the priorities that my constituents have for Alberta in these tough times: a focus on jobs, diversification, and encouraging high-quality services that Albertans rely on, caring for our most vulnerable, and increasing transparency and accountability in government. These are things that my constituents expect from government, and I was pleased to have the opportunity to speak to them today. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.